Hey everyone, welcome to Quickscope Podcast, brought to you by Higher Passion Entertainment. We're your hosts, Eric and Serge, and we have a very special guest today. We got Matafied Gaming, we got Christian. Thanks for being on here, dude. It's really awesome to have you. We haven't had a guest on here in a minute, so obviously having you here is a real treat. I don't know if you know how I actually figured out who you were. I actually found you on Twitter, and
Okay.
and I started seeing some of your posts on there, and I love them, man. I love seeing what your passion for gaming, and obviously like us, like Serge and I, you're Latino. I saw you doing some streams in Spanish, so that obviously caught my eye as well. But one thing that really stood out to me was a video you did on how Halo saved your life. Right, that video
Yes.
was so dope, and I really liked it, and that just made me a fan. So obviously subscribed and follow you on social media. But yeah, we're blessed to have you here. Just want to thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, man. No, back I think whenever you found me, you had reached out to me, and you'd mentioned the podcast, and like I was just really busy at the
Oh yeah,
time. But I'm a man of my word, so I said I was gonna hop on here, and here we are. So yeah, thank you for the kind words.
yo,
Yeah,
yeah,
man, definitely welcome, man.
Thank
Glad to
you.
have you.
yeah, awesome to have you. So wanted to start it off with a little intro to you, right? Matafied Gaming. What's kind of the theme behind that? How did you get started with all that and the streaming and the content? And yeah,
Oh
tell us a little
man,
bit.
how much time you guys got?
We got time. We got time.
Definitely.
Nah, man. I mean, long story short, I've been on YouTube since I was like 16, 17. So it's like 2006, 2007. I had a account that was originally called Fat Mexican, which used to be like my original gamer tag. That's PHAT. I used to rock Fat
Nice.
Farms. I don't know if you guys used.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, I was like Fat Mexican. That was me.
I had the ones with
And
the
we
backwards P. When you got the
Oh, you
strawberries.
had
Yeah.
the fake farms,
Yep.
the fake farms from the Pulga,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. So I've been in love with video games since then. I started making skits and prank videos and stuff like that with a couple friends of mine. Eventually went to school and started up a channel with another friend of mine that currently has like 60,000 subs on YouTube, but I haven't put out any content on that channel. There was a point where I wanted to do things on my own, just dedicate it more to gaming,
Mm.
and I pretty much just took my current gamer tag at the time, which was Modify, just putting my last name Mata with the word modify, like to change and stuff like that. I wanted to be a change in the game. So that's kind of how I came up with the name Modify and ultimately, made Modified Gaming. That was 10 years ago. So, it's been a lot of ups and downs, side to sides,
Yeah.
pauses. But for the past year, I've been trying to grind.
That's awesome. It's awesome to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a grind starting anything, right? Doing streaming or starting a YouTube channel. It's definitely a grind. And I know like us, like Serge and I, we started doing this just for fun. But
Definitely.
yeah, it gained some traction and it's pretty cool to see. And I know you gained some traction too. You've had the Modified Gaming channel for years now. I was looking back some of your old videos, but and seeing for how long back some of those videos go, I wanted to see what really got you interested in gaming. Obviously, a lot of your content right now is Halo, but like
Right.
what was that? I don't know. How long have you been playing, or what was that game or that first console that really got you into gaming?
Oh man, well, before we started this stream, I was talking about my mom, and it's funny because, because of her, in a way, I'm here. She was kind of the one that sparked my interest for gaming, unbeknownst to her. But she helped one of her younger brothers come to the states, and when he came with like a passion for the original Super Mario Bros. So the moment that he could get his hand on an NES, he did, and he brought one over, and I was just a young little kid. So that was the first video game that I remember playing, was the NES, and I didn't own one. I never owned a system, but we would always travel up to Wisconsin, the state north of Illinois, and we had a lot of family over there, and I would just play different NES games. The Ninja Turtles comes to mind. I
Oh
love
yeah.
playing that game. Just all the classics. And it was funny. I remember one day I came home from school and I had a brand new Super Nintendo just chilling there. I'd never got a new console in my life, and it had my favorite game of all time, which is Super Mario World. And I asked my mom, like, "Oh, like, where'd you buy this? Like, how much did it cost you?" And I've told this story a couple times, but according to her, she found it on top of a car and brought it into the house. And since then, I was diehard gamer. I beat that game left, right, up, down, you name it. I honestly think that she stole it. I think someone forgot it because it was in a bag and everything from like a Toys R Us. And like, I'm sure someone forgot it on top of a car. And my mom was just like, I'm taking this for my son. So yeah, that's the funny
That's
story with me and my mom.
That
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I think for a lot of us, especially like our age, like I'm 31, and that's kind of where I started too. The
Definitely.
NES, the Super Nintendo was the first one I really had, and
Yeah.
and for me it was also my dad. It was he had an Atari, so he actually
Dang.
likes playing video games, and he shared some of that stuff with me, and I've talked about it here on the podcast before. Serge knows. But yeah, once the Atari, the console came out where like it had all the built-in games and everything, I bought that for him. Man, I think it was like his birthday or Father's Day or something. We just spent all day playing the Atari games, and I still can't beat him at them. Like he's like
Dang.
67 and he still beats me at all these games. So
See, that's why
yeah,
I'm lucky, man. I'm
yeah,
lucky
man.
because my parents don't game. You put a game in, even las maquinitas at the laundromat, dude. I'd be like,
Yep,
I'd be beating them in Galaga and stuff. So
nice.
it's good times.
Yeah, man, it just tells you how good those classics, man. Those classics just they bred a whole generation of gamers. Just
Oh yeah,
how good those consoles, Super Mario, man, Super Mario, just Pokemon, all that, man, just brought up everyone's childhood. It feels like almost everyone lived the same childhood, right, with gaming.
oh
Everyone
yeah,
played those classic games, and till this day, it's kind of what drives, I think, gaming.
yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, if you could see my bed right now, I got Super Mario sheets.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
No cap. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much where it started for me, and it's kind of shifted to where it is now. But that's still Mario will always have a place in my heart.
Yeah. Is Mario still your favorite game character of all time?
Surprisingly, no, man. Surprisingly, no. If you had to guess, just based on like what you guys have probably seen, I've deleted a lot of old YouTube stuff too. But if you had to guess who my favorite character was, who do you think it is? I'm very interested
Uh,
to see if you get it right.
I'll go with Master Chief.
Okay.
Because of the Halo series? Man, I don't know. I think you did.
It's not Master Chief, so sir, he tried. It was close.
No,
It's
I
close.
try to think about some of the other videos I've seen. Is it
I'll
Yoshi?
give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. It's Nintendo related.
I was gonna say, is it Yoshi?
Not Yoshi. All right, you ready?
Samus.
Zelda.
Dang it! And there's like, yep. There we go. Yeah, man. It's Link, man.
Link?
Legend of
Okay.
Zelda. Yes, yes.
Oh, how'd you
Man, I
like?
don't know what it is.
I'm assuming you played Breath of the Wild.
See, that's a common misconception.
You haven't played it?
I mean, oh man, that game has a. We could go off on a tangent on that game for me, but I've played it, but I have not beaten it.
I
My
haven't beaten
favorite
it
Zelda
either.
game is Twilight Princess.
Oh, that's a solid
That's
one.
just I love that game.
What's
I
the
will go to the
best?
grave.
What's the best Zelda game?
A Zelda game? Shoot. I mean, I have to break it down in like to 2D and 3D. I think 2D, my favorite 2D Zelda game has to be the Game Boy Color games. I don't know if you've ever played Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
Oh man, I
To,
haven't played this forever. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
those.
dude. Those to me are like unmatched. They need a remake. It was something that it was kind of like what introduced me to Zelda.
Okay.
My friend at a bus stop just had an extra copy. He's like, "Hey, you want to play this?" And I'm like, "All right, cool." And that's how I got into Zelda. And I would give it to Twilight, bro. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but Twilight is my favorite. I think it's the greatest ever made.
Nice. I'm a huge Super Smash Brothers gamer, so my favorite Zelda game is Super Smash Brothers.
Is
wait,
it?
wait, wait. Say it again.
Yeah.
Because they
So
had Zelda in it. No, I think my favorite Zelda game is actually Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time. I love that game, and I played it. I don't know how many times I played that through when I was a kid, but then Majora's Mask came out, and that was like the perfect sequel to a game for me, and I just couldn't get over how awesome that game was. Like, yeah, yeah. So
What about you, Serge? What's your favorite game?
I my favorite game in general.
Yeah, yeah. And then
I
and then
guess
and then if you
yeah, for Zelda's Ocarina of Time,
okay.
and then uh, in general for sure Gears of War, the OG
Oh
Gears of
yeah.
War, Gears of War 2.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's boosted my competitive. I'm a competitive gamer, so that's usually what I've been doing. So I play nothing but competitive BRs, competitive back in the day, Halo, Gears, all that. So Gears of War
Okay.
really brought out the competitiveness in me. That like those Gears competitive game battles back in the day was just vicious. Nick, I
yeah,
know
Oh hell yeah.
Nick Merckx always talks about it. Yeah, and it's the things you hear in those lobbies in those games, man. It just bred like I said, a competitiveness in me,
Yeah, bro.
and I
I
still to
saw
this day.
yeah.
I
I
was gonna
can't.
say I
Yeah,
saw a
I
tweet
can't.
today. I saw a tweet today. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
That
go
that
for it.
was
I know
like
worries.
it was kind of like a clip from the movie A Wolf of Wall Street, and it was like Leonardo DiCaprio like getting arrested, all that, and it was like this would be us if they leaked the party chats from the early Xbox
Oh,
360 days, and
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely.
yeah, bro, we'd all be in jail.
yep. It'd be so bad.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's
Yeah.
man.
The chat in those lobbies never really got to me, but man, the competitiveness in those games, I can never hang with Gears of War or with Halo, like early
Yeah,
competitive,
Halo back then was clean.
like Halo 3, Halo, like dang, like I could not hang online. Those people on there were just nuts.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
we
then so that's
were.
why I switched to competitive fighting games. That's I was like, I can't keep up with these guys.
Yeah, man. It's like just the younger generation, man. They're even more vicious now, man. There's those
Oh yeah.
the Fortnite gamers, man. They've been moving through game to game. Now they're on Apex. They were on Warzone for a little while. They're just
Yeah,
vicious.
they're
Yeah.
different breed, man. Different breed.
Nice. So now that we got to know Christian here from Matafied Gaming a little more, I wanted to get into the rest of our podcast. So as always, we start with some new game news and updates. So pretty cool update. This is more of a shopping deal. Amazon has a buy two get one free deal right now, so definitely take advantage of that. I was surprised to see some of the games on there though. Like they got Elden Ring on there, they got Tiny Tina's, Wonderland. Like these are brand new games that are getting a lot of traction recently, and coincidentally, Halo Infinite is on there as well. So buy two get one free. There's a bunch of cool games on there, and the Halo Infinite campaign. It's really dope. If you guys haven't tried that out, definitely check that out. I mean, whenever you see a deal like this, it's easy to jump on top. I personally, I'm probably not gonna buy any game right now just because I have a long list of games I still need to get through. But that freaking Surge, I still haven't gotten through the Bioshock games that
Oh
I
no.
bought like a
Yeah,
year
yeah.
ago. I bought the
No,
whole
those are
thing.
good. Yeah, no, those are good games to jump on whenever you have some time though. Like Bioshock's always there to just whenever you have nothing to play, that's just a good throw on there.
Yeah,
But those deals, yeah, it was like you said, I was surprised to see a lot of those games on there. They're trying to, I guess, they're trying to really push Elden Ring, and people want that, and Halo Infinite, obviously, people want to play that campaign. So they're trying
Shoot,
to get
man.
these copies because I guess nowadays it's really tough if you're not providing a free game. It's really hard to
oh yeah,
sell games, so they got to make some deals.
yeah. It's good
Now,
to see though.
are these like the physical
They're
games or is it all
physical.
digital?
They're
Yeah,
physical. I went to go
Okay,
look to see if
okay.
you can download digital, but they only do physical for the deal. So yeah, there's that. And
I
they
mean, we
probably
can
had a
go
lot
on a
of
small
stock.
tangent. We can go on a small tangent there. Like, are you guys into the physical? Are you guys like old school? We still want the physical copies, or are you just like, you know what, man? I'm all digital now.
I like digital. I like it, but man, sometimes like we talked on a few podcasts ago, we talked about how like Warzone took up like all my
Oh
memory.
yeah.
Like I couldn't download any other game for a while because I had
Mm,
Warzone on there, I had Apex, and I had Fortnite, and literally I couldn't
yeah,
download any other game onto my console. Like
yeah.
I have a PlayStation 4 downstairs, and then in my room I got the Xbox, and I had to download different games on each one just to fit all the games, all my downloads.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
Yeah, bro,
it
it's
wasn't
crazy.
working out. So
yeah, and
unless
before you'd be, oh god,
I was gonna
yeah, I
say
was gonna say
unless I have the
before,
memory, I'm
yeah,
gonna have to
definitely.
get physical copies a lot of the time.
Yeah, and physical copies. I mean, they're just the thing about it is just if you lose the disc or you end up buying the disc and lose the disc, I'd hate to not want to play the game just
Yeah,
or not be able to play the game just because you lose the disc. So
yeah,
digital, at least it's it's there when your purchase is recorded.
yeah,
So then you at least be able to download it wherever you take your account.
yeah.
But yeah, like you said, man, these
Right.
games just they're too heavy.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
3 games on your back in the day, you'd be 1 terabyte on an Xbox.
yeah.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
right? Nowadays, it's
Yup.
like I need 50 terabytes to freaking. It's not
Yeah.
even close to enough.
No, dude, and the thing with physical games is I have a 3-year-old, right? And I like play like the Nintendo games. I have the old Wii U, and he wanted to play Mario Kart, and he very innocently like went to open the game, and he was gonna bring the CD to me, and you know how those cases you gotta like push the middle to like take it out. He
Yeah.
didn't know that, so he was like pulling it out, and he broke it in half.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And obviously he's crying, he's sad. He comes to me because all he wanted to do was play Mario Kart with me. So, but then you have to go and buy another $40 game again, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that game, Mario Kart is still $40 on the Wii U. Nintendo's
Yeah.
prices stay
They
high.
never change.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never change.
I
So
mean, they're still charging $20 for NES games.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know?
I mean,
I don't know, man. Definitely I want digital. I would love to just have digital libraries of it all, but sometimes I gotta have physical. But then I got kids running around, so I have all my games right now like behind cages, so they don't
yeah.
get to them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the worst thing you can have is you remember back in the day where your disc was too scratched up. You had to go get the scratch doctor, the
Oh,
scratch
I
Yeah,
doctor.
the
remember
scratch
those.
doctor.
They put it in that little thing and they start twisting it,
Yeah.
trying to clear it off. And I'm just like, man, you're there praying, please work, or else you're gonna have to spend
Man.
$60 on another game. And you're
Yeah, right.
just,
Like,
Yeah,
man,
I
if your
forgot
girl
about those.
didn't use the scratch doctor, she's too young for you, bro. Oh my god,
uh,
yeah,
Yeah.
but let's
What about you,
go back.
Mata?
Let's go back. Me, man, like I don't know. Can you see my Pokemon stuff back there? I
Yeah.
blame Pokemon, bro. I blame Pokemon for me being like a hoarder, a collector, bro. I save
Uh,
everything, bro. Like if the guy that didn't cut like I got my apartment like broke into and they took a bunch of my stuff, but actually not a lot of my stuff, but they took this box where I had like receipts from like my car that I used to save like gas receipts like from years ago just because I wanted to make like a like a what you call it like a journal a photo book type thing but
mhm.
I'd collect everything bro so like me I'm like a physical guy like
Okay.
I want to have the physical copy you know I'll buy it on digital like you guys are saying to like in case it gets scratched in case you lose it but like the collector in me just you know if I have a nice bookshelf I want to have like you know I want to get the Halo Infinite Steelbook for example like I think that looks dope.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have the
that's
Halo
cool.
2 Steelbook. I have the Legendary Edition for Reach and 3. You know I want to have all my discs right there. So I'm a little of both worlds.
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so this deal's going on, so definitely check out what they got on there.
Hmm.
Also,
Buy Halo.
or Halo, yeah, get Halo. Um, I want to talk about E3. This was crazy. E3
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
canceled.
Hey, you
Like,
guys talk. Let me go get something real quick. You guys keep talking. You'll see. You'll see.
go
Go
for it.
go go. Keep
Yeah.
talking.
So E3 announced that they're gonna be canceling E3 this year, and that's not just that doesn't mean they're just canceling the in-person event. They're canceling the online event as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, with COVID, you couldn't do in person. Last year, they did an online only event, and honestly, I watched the event, and it was rough, but it was a good event. It was a solid event, but obviously they didn't see the point in moving forward with it. So they can and they said we're just canceling it for now. It's not that we're canceling indefinitely, but
Yeah.
there's rumors going around that they might just stay canceled. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I heard that. I heard that too, and I was surprised. I mean, I know once they let it open to the general public, it started probably to get a little bit out of hand. So they're probably trying to figure out what to do, how to plan. I guess the pandemic gave them a little bit of a break, or they can sit down and maybe rethink their formula because E3 before was not for the general public housing. I don't know, tens of thousands of people. in the convention center. So maybe they're
Yeah.
trying to rework their plan and come back 2023 strong. Maybe they didn't have enough time to plan all that stuff. So um, it's
Man.
interesting. I don't know. Hopefully they stick around because maybe they can go full virtual. Maybe that's what they do a virtual thing every year. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what their plan is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's rough going full virtual when you're trying to like run everything on your own site or on YouTube. And a lot
Yeah,
of times like they'll try to just host on YouTube. And I mean the gamers, I mean, you gotta be honest, they go to Twitch. Like if you're not hosting all your events on Twitch, it's gonna be tough.
yeah,
I think maybe host on multi platforms, and then if they want to make money out of it, they have to create passes too, right? So
yeah,
I know BlizzCon did this where you buy the digital pass so you can see certain events online. I think Blizzard actually did it pretty well in my opinion because I love Blizzard games. I'm a Blizzard fanboy, so seeing how they did it, I thought it was really cool. E3 was just kind of it was very messy. It wasn't very organized online. I think they were just kind of had to put it together last minute,
yeah,
uh, and maybe that's why they canceled this. But I personally, I do not want to see E3 go. I've been to the events before, and I love those events, man. Like I love what it stands for, and being there with all the other gamers. Like not even watching like the competitive plays, but just going there to hear all the announcements and like they have panels and stuff too. Like it's really cool. It's almost like a borderline like a small Comic Con for us video game guys, right?
yeah.
So
Definitely.
I don't want to see it go. I really hope this is just a 1 year cancellation and they're gonna come back strong next year.
You see that, man? It's a little tear in my eye, man. Man, no, like honestly, when I saw, you sent me a little recap of what we were gonna talk about today, and I saw this, I'm like, oh man, this is my time to shine. But man, E3, like honestly, E3 is the reason why I'm out here in California, man. Honestly. I told you about the YouTube channel that I started with my friend a long time ago, but we were one of the first 50 channels on YouTube to be partnered to be able to monetize our channel playing video games. So this was back in 2009, and we were signed by a company that at the time was called um, Maker Studios, which eventually got bought out by Disney, which eventually just disintegrated. But we were one of the 50 channels that they, believed in, they signed on. And I went to my first E3 in 2011. And I went there every single year after that, every other year. From 2011 to this past, I just pulled up from 2019. And, media, baby, we media.
Nice.
And, when I came out here, man, I fell in love with California. And, just being able to see people that I collaborated with, their YouTube channels they were about the same. And every year I saw them, they were growing, growing, growing. And, my friend, we talked about it. We're like, let's move out to California, man. Like, let's really like do this. This is going to be huge. And long story short, he moved. I stayed. I fell in love, and I stayed back home. But I would hate for it to go. But I have a feeling that it is, man. Honestly, like I hate to be pessimistic, but I don't know, man. It was very shocking for me to see that they're not doing anything this year.
Yeah.
Like I think they could have done something, but to
Yeah.
me, this seems like this might be the end, honestly. And
Do,
I hate to see it go.
do you think something else will take its place?
Man, that's hard to say. I mean, I will say, like, over the past couple years, you said you've been to a couple of the
Hmm.
events. I was still getting it, like I was getting invited to like the Xbox press conferences
Hmm.
still, and they were hosting them all at the Microsoft Theater. So
Gotcha.
like it seemed that like they were just trying to do their own thing. Like even Microsoft was trying to do their own thing, right? Nintendo pretty much said we're not even going anymore. We're doing
That's true.
everything online. And like I feel like everyone's just doing their own little thing. The pandemic hit, all these other things happened, and I just think that they probably lost money and they don't see
Hmm.
it being any better. What's the purpose of it anymore? If companies are just going to have all these events throughout the year, um, I would hope for it not to go because, like I said, it was the one time where I got to meet everybody. The E3 after parties were
Hmm.
amazing. Getting to collaborate, like you said, with other gamers. Man, like E3 holds a special place in my heart. I would hate for it to go. This is the reason I'm out here. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crisscross my fingers. Hopefully, it's still here.
Yeah, man. I really hope it comes back. And again, they said it's just canceled this year, and they're hoping to come back.
Yeah.
I think slowly a lot of events are starting to come back to in person. I work in tech industry, and I do marketing and stuff, and I work really closely with Microsoft. And
Okay.
Microsoft just last 2 years, they're like, we're doing everything virtual, and now they're like, okay, we're gonna slowly start transitioning to in person, and they do like huge events. So hopefully in the near future we'll start seeing some of these big events come back. And I think like if E3 comes back, I think they're just gonna start right back off where they left off, because people are like itching to go to these in person events again,
Yeah.
right? And I think it would do really well if they come back. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think they definitely are going to come back. They're probably just going to have to rethink their plan. I don't think the same format that they've had is gonna work.
yeah,
Maybe they have to make it smaller and keep it, um, more condensed. I don't know if they're losing that much money. I mean, they're spending that much money on probably renting the place, on all the bills that they have to pay for that place. So maybe they go smaller and they start growing a little bit more. Maybe they just have to reset the whole thing and yeah, maybe a break is good for them.
yeah,
Gives them a bit of time.
yeah. Hopefully that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We
Yep,
got a year to find out.
yep. All right, wanted to get into some streaming updates, streaming news. The only major thing I saw, and I don't know why this caught my eye. Freaking Doctor Disrespect, always up to something. This dude, the
Yeah.
guy, the master of bourbon, he has his own bourbon line. He has his own NFT line, right? And
Man,
we did a whole
Oh
podcast
man.
on NFTs too. And this dude is coming out with an album, and he
like
actually,
music.
yeah, a freaking album, and he actually played. I'm a big music guy. I don't know if you see this. I got my cymbal right here. My whole drum set's here,
Okay,
and
okay.
and he actually played like part of a song on his stream, and he's like, "This isn't mastered or anything, but I'm gonna play it." And I'm not lying when I say it sounded decent. It might actually be like a decent project that he's working on. This dude
Like
can't miss.
what genre? What genre is it?
It
Like
sounded
what
like
what
alternative rock. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I know he's. I mean, he's a smart guy, man. Diversify, right? Diversify, diversify, diversify. It's just get into everything and anything. He knows that gaming is not gonna, for at least for YouTubers and those guys. Sometimes at some point they want to go away from that. So he's just trying to diversify. Maybe he'll be the next guy, the next alternative rock artist
that'd be
of
ridiculous. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see where
He
that
already he
goes.
already
But
he already has the personality and the
he
so
does. He's
maybe
definitely
it'll
a
work.
persona. He's a
Yeah.
character. But
Dude, he's tall. Have you guys ever seen him in person?
Yeah.
I've never seen him
He's
in
like
person.
6'7".
Bro, I saw him at E3 one year. I was getting outside of the restaurant, and I saw a bunch of people running by, and I'm like, he was not hard to miss, bro. All I did was just look, and I'm like, damn, he is one tall dude, good looking dude too, man. It made me double think.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I knew he was
No, but
tall. I knew he was tall, and I've heard that before that you can't miss him. But
nah, dude, when
is
he
he?
shows up, he's there.
That's funny.
Yeah, for sure.
He wasn't in the bathroom filming.
I won't. I may or may have not leaked his stream and got him banned, but
Yeah, I know this dude. I think him and Twitch, the feud that they had, actually got resolved, but
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
came out. We don't know why he got banned in the first place. It's
Nobody
just it
knows,
got
man. He
resolved.
doesn't kiss and tell. He keeps it clean.
Apparently not.
Yeah, right. Apparently
Something
not.
happened. Something happened,
Something happened.
but obviously he still has a YouTube deal. He still got a bunch of followers on there. I don't know if he'll ever come back to Twitch. But we'll see. I think YouTube's still trying to figure its stuff out with streaming. I feel like we're always
Oh
talking
yeah,
about that too, about YouTube trying to get there,
YouTube's
getting
coming, man.
everything
YouTube's
set.
coming.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they're honestly like it's coming from someone that streams on Twitch, but YouTube's my home, and I really feel that YouTube's gonna take over in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like it's just inevitable.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
And that's you coming from being kind of a small streamer, right? And you mentioned
Yeah.
you're on Twitch. Why do you stream on Twitch versus streaming like on like our homie who used to be on here, Eric or Boots, as some of you guys might know. He used to be a host on this podcast, so he went 100% just focused on streaming, and he recently said he's starting to stream on Facebook Gaming, and
Mm.
he made that switch over from Twitch. He wanted to go to Facebook Gaming, and he's been doing really well on there. He's been doing super good. What
Yeah.
kind of got you into streaming, maybe in the first place, and specifically then on Twitch?
Yeah, so honestly, like going back to, like I mentioned, back to 2009, 2010, we were streaming, my friend and I, on what was pretty much the old Twitch, Justin.tv.
Oh, okay.
And we would just go on there, kind of do stuff like this, where it was just our face camera. We'd have people from our YouTube channel just come on. It was kind of like a Q&A type thing, in a way like a podcast, but just being able to live interact with fans was something that always got like, stuck with me.
Mhm,
And Twitch was the only platform really at the time like for gaming. So when I went on there, I'm just like loyal, right? I'm like loyal to Twitch, and YouTube came out with their thing, but at the time, it was really bare bones. It just, it was just not the same.
yeah,
And Facebook gaming, honestly, like Facebook gaming is popping. I haven't dabbled in it too much, but for someone like me that wants to put a little bit more emphasis on like the Hispanic community, the Spanish speaking community, I honestly think that on Facebook gaming that would probably blow up more. But me trying to do so many different things, I think like a good piece of advice to anyone that's trying to stream out there is just to pick one. Like, it doesn't matter which one you pick. Like, you're gonna be a small streamer no matter where. Like, when you first start, you're gonna be a small streamer. So, but just pick one and just go with it, man. Like, just keep
mhm,
keep being consistent and just do what you do. Like, people are gonna find you. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So me, it's just Twitch right now. And that's what I'm doing.
yeah. I know a lot of people that start streaming and they immediately go to like restream, and
Yeah,
they post their
yeah,
stream on everything, right? Like
yeah.
it's on everything: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, like uh,
TikTok,
TikTok. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All of a sudden, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of streams on TikTok too. Um, and yeah, and I've said that before too, especially when it comes to social media. And for me, as like I work professionally in marketing, right? I think it's important to understand that a lot of those social medias, you need personalized content for them. I think if you have like Twitch and you're streaming on Twitch, that's great, and then you get your posts or your clips that you can post on TikTok or on Instagram, even on Twitter, you can post some pretty cool clips. I think Ninja got a really big following from all of his like crazy shots playing Fortnite
Yep,
and even some Halo,
yep,
and posting that on Twitch over like 10 years. Like he just
yep,
kept posting and posting and posting on Twitter, and then but streaming on Twitch, and obviously he had his more like personal life and stuff on Instagram, and it just kind of blew up because you wanted to follow him on everything because it was all
yep.
different. And obviously, like if I'm a fan of you, like I'm gonna go to Twitch to watch you. And like
Mhm.
I like watching Tim the Tatman. I'm gonna go to YouTube to watch him. I used to watch him on Twitch. Now I'm on YouTube. And I think it's important to, yeah, build those fan bases where you're gonna build it. But if you're everywhere all at once, I mean, first of all, you're not gonna be able to monetize the same way because one person can't be on all of those streams, right?
Right.
Like if you have 100 people watching you on YouTube, it's gonna be different than if you have like 30 people on each one. It's gonna almost make it seem like you're a smaller stream than you actually are.
Right.
So
It's like
yeah,
that
I think
saying,
that's
like,
important.
if you're everywhere, you're nowhere,
Yeah, yeah.
in a way.
You gotta focus, right?
Yeah,
Focus at it. Um,
yeah, and each I mean each platform has their different reach too. I mean, there's different platform on different reach on Facebook than you're gonna find on YouTube than you're gonna find on Twitch. So it just depends what kind of content you're putting out, and you
Yeah,
know, like
that
a
right
lot
there.
a lot of people on Twitch, they're gonna sit there for hours and watch a stream, but maybe on Facebook they're just watching it on their lunch break, or they're on their Facebook and they're gonna pull up a stream real quick. Or on YouTube you're just watching a quick video. You don't want a 2 hour video on YouTube, like you would
Yeah.
be watching a 2 hour stream on Twitch. So it's
Hmm.
just different vibes on each platform.
Yeah,
That's true.
and I think it's important, especially for a lot of like first time streamers, small streamers, to understand that I think a lot of people lose encouragement when they start seeing like these bigger streams that have thousands of viewers and they got like one or two viewers at a time. Twitch
Yeah.
comes out with the data on like overall analysis on who's watching what, and it's actually really interesting to see. They're saying that that if you average 3 to 5 viewers, you're in the top like 25% of streams, because the
Yeah.
majority get like zero. And I think if you understand that if you're streaming and you got 5 people watching you, that's pretty crazy. Like that's actually like an accomplishment. Then if you
Yep.
start
Oh
getting
yeah.
like I think 11 or more, you're in the top 10% of streamers already. Like I think
That's
people don't realize that these like high end streamers that everyone talks about, and admittedly we talk about them too on this podcast, they're like not even like the top 1%. They're like the 0.001%,
Yeah.
or
right.
even smaller, right? And you're actually accomplishing something if you just have a handful of viewers. And I was saying this to, well, actually, my wife brought this up to me when I was talking about our YouTube channel. I was saying, hey, like one of our YouTube videos actually got like 60 views, and that was like earlier on, right? And she's
Hmm.
like, imagine that, dude. Like if it were in person, it'd be like you're in a room and 60 people are just watching you talk
Yeah.
about video games for an hour. I'm like, you know what? When you put it in that perspective, it actually like it's pretty dope. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
to see that. So like there's communities and that will build around your brand, right? And I know I've been following you, right? The Matafied Gaming brand, and you got your own Discord too. And there's a lot of like positivity in that community, right? And I love to see that. I love to see that with streamers. And I know like some people might consider you a small streamer, but you got your dedicated fans that are watching you, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's what makes it really cool to be part of this culture, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I have people like one of the first games I ever streamed, I think, was either Halo 4 or Halo 5. I had just created Modified Gaming, but I had connects with 343 at the time through with my other channel, and I hit them up and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm starting out, like I got a new channel. I know it has 0 followers right now, but here's my other channel." And they gave me an early copy. I don't remember if it was Halo 4 or Halo 5, but I remember going on Twitch for like one of my first streams, and I kid you not, bro, I had like 200 concurrent viewers. Like and everyone was like, "Who is this guy?" Because the only other people streaming were like Halo pros,
Yeah.
and like people that were like already huge. And I remember like getting follows and like, dude, that's like a rush, man. It's like you see those follows. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You see all the chat going crazy, and it's a huge rush, and like
Yeah.
so I've been at like for a small streamer, I've been at the highs, and that lasted for a while, and had I kept going, who knows, right? But I stopped. But if another advice, since you touched on it, is just people need to like not compare themselves to others. I think
Mm,
that's where people fail. Like, man, even if I compared myself to like me 5 years ago, I would probably be disappointed because I'm like, man, like 5 years ago I was almost partnered, like on Twitch. And I'm just like, you know what, man? I hop on stream thinking, hey, as long as there's one person, even if it's just Nightbot talking to me,
yeah.
like I try to have a good time, even if it's just for a couple hours, and then put on the best show that you can, and just don't compare. Compare only with yourself, with the man in the mirror. Like if Surge turns around, that's the only man he's competing with right now. So, and I guarantee you guys will have a good time. So keep
Yeah.
streaming.
Yeah. And you never know. You never know who's watching, man. I stream on for Quickscope podcast sometimes on Twitch,
Uh-huh.
and I usually have like my homie's music playing in the background, and he does music production stuff, right? And he actually gets like a good amount of followers. And one day he finished the stream and he just hosted me. All of a sudden, I got like 50 people watching me play Hearthstone. I think I was just doing like
Uh,
a chill session and just playing games and hanging out. And all of a sudden, you got all these people in the chat, and people will stick around. And a lot of time, like other people hosting you, that'll do a lot for you as well.
oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you never know, man. You never know who's watching.
Never know. Might Mr. Beast might just drop 200,000 on
I
you,
know,
man.
right?
You
Hey,
never know.
that's the dream. There you go.
That's why I see you should have been streaming this right now. You don't know what would have happened, man.
Yep.
It starts streaming right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, since we're talking about Halo, I actually want to jump into our main topic here. Obviously, you're a big Halo. You're big into Halo, Halo Infinite, Halo streaming. A lot of your content on YouTube is around Halo as well.
Yeah.
I want to start off first with kind of what's been top of mind with a lot of people is the Halo series that's on Paramount Plus. I think we're 2 episodes in, and
Yes, sir.
um, me, I consider myself a casual Halo
Okay.
gamer, right? So I kind of remember the majority of the lore. I think I've played like the campaigns of Halo 3 maybe a couple times, and then Reach a couple times, Halo Combat Evolved a handful of times, and then everything else I've only played once, the campaigns. So I'm
Hmm.
not like that deep into the lore. I've never read any of the books or anything. So I have my own opinion of of the series, but I've seen different opinions online. So you as kind of like you're the biggest fan of Halo that I know, right? Or that
Okay.
I've conversed with. So what are your initial thoughts on the series so far?
I hate. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Nah, I mean, look, I'm gonna keep it simple, man. I'm in love with the show.
Oh, dope.
I think it's dope. Like, man, now I don't consider myself like a lore connoisseur. Like, I don't know every nook and cranny of the Halo lore, but I've played all the campaigns. I've read the first book, which is pretty much just Halo Reach.
Hmm.
And I know enough. I've watched enough YouTube videos. I've done enough research to know that the main gist of Halo. So I know what that community is like crying about. Oh, it's not this, it's not that, it's not this. But man, I'm coming from the camp where like when we got like a live action trailer, I believe like around Halo 3 time, around
Yeah,
that time we were told that we were going to get a full length Halo movie.
I
Like
remember
I
that.
think it was going to be
Yeah.
like directed or produced by Steven Spielberg, and like it was going to be insane, and this is coming off of like the Star Wars hype. I That's what I wanted. And I've wanted that for the longest time. We've seen bits and pieces of live action Halo, but when they announced that we were going to get a full series, like I was invested. And when they said like it's not going to be canon and all that, like I didn't care. Like I just want to see Master Chief on the big screen. I want to see Halo succeed and to see it break all these records with Paramount Plus, and it's overall has favorable reviews. I like the direction where they're going. Yes, it's not 100% to the story and there's things that are different, but that's what makes it unique. This is coming from the guy that like actually liked the Super Mario Brothers movie. I don't know if you guys have ever watched
Yeah, I love that
that.
movie. It's one of my
But
favorite.
I love that movie, man. You know how many people hate that? Go on Rotten Tomatoes. I bet you it has less than
Yeah.
1%.
I do.
But
I like the movie. I like it.
I
so
do too.
I love the series. I can't wait for episode 3. I've been watching it from someone that I met on Instagram, really through Halo. He's local here in California. He's like, "Yo, come through." He didn't even know my name. I didn't even know his name. He's like, "Come to my crib," and we've been watching the series ever since, man. And like, he's kind of like a brother out here now. All through Halo. So that's another thing to add to how Halo saved my life. So we've been watching it every Thursday in like a nice little home theater system, and
Nice.
I'm pumped. So yeah, I love it. I love the show.
Yeah. Serge, what are your
Yeah,
initial thoughts?
I I loved it, man. I honestly, I just watched it today, because I've been a little behind, but man, I'm just waiting for the next episode. That I was blown away. I didn't think it was going to be that good. I know we had talked about it in the past. They've been talking about Halo and Gears of War, you know, series movies for a while, and we were talking about Halo, and we were like, we've seen a few of the little movies that they've had on Netflix and stuff like that, but this one they really understood this, making it a little bit Hollywood, like you said. It's kind of like Marvel, like Avengers. A lot of those, they're not going to be 100% exact to the Marvel comics. They're not going to be 100% exact to the lore, but I mean, you kind of have to make it a little bit more of a Hollywood style setting. And I don't know, it's honestly, I can't wait for the next episode. I'm excited. I'm wondering why they don't just release the whole series already.
Yeah,
Just bring it
yeah,
out
right.
right now. Watch them all by
Honestly, yeah,
tonight.
for real.
Yeah, I was blown away. It's pretty damn good.
I'm actually kind of surprised. Because I'm if you don't know Mata, I'm like the typical like PlayStation guy on this
Uh
podcast.
huh. Uh huh.
Um, and I might actually be the most critical of the show right now. Um, I I think it's cool. I think it's okay. Some parts of it are bothering me though. The very first episode, Master Chief taking off his helmet. Did that
Hmm.
not bother you guys?
Man,
It
okay.
Go ahead.
Go, Serge.
I
Take
was
it,
gonna
take
say,
it, Serge.
yeah, it didn't bother me because I understand what they're doing. They're trying to like make him human. They're trying to make sure that they're giving him a story because
But Master
sometimes Master
Chief is
Chief
not
feels.
human,
I get that, but they're trying to give him that human element, I
I
guess,
guess.
in a sense. Like they're trying to give him that personality, right? Master
Yeah.
Chief sometimes, I guess he'd get lost if he didn't have that type of personality in a series because that's part of a series, part of a movie, part of a show. It's to bring out the personality of a character. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what they're really trying to do.
I get
Yeah, I
that.
was
I
gonna
get that.
say one of the few leaks I saw like on Twitter when I hopped on, it was like people just talking about the face reveal and how like anticlimactic it was and how like it didn't make sense. And so I went into this episode one. I'm like, okay, let's see what these guys are talking about. And honestly, thought it was like the right time for him to do that. Like, I think it was well done because had he like Serge was saying
Mhm.
was in a way making himself more human, more relatable for her to understand what was going on. And I think in that moment it did make sense. Like, could have they done other things? Maybe, but like it's not like it was a complete disaster. Um, and I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Halo 4. And when 343 Industries took over Halo, if people want to talk about lore and like that, Bungie didn't care about Master Chief. He barely even talked. I'm sure the voice actor didn't even have enough to go buy a kids meal at McDonald's. Like this guy had like no voice lines. So like Bungie's Master Chief, yeah, okay, cool. He's not human. He's a super soldier. He's a robot. He's a machine. But when 343 took over in Halo 4, they wanted to give Master Chief more of a human aspect. And like Halo 4 is like one of my favorite campaigns. And at the very end, man, I shed a tear during that campaign. Like I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's never played it, but I'm vouching for Halo 4 and like blame 343. They're the ones that did this. So like to me, this is just like the live action series way of trying to humanize, Master Chief. So he is a human. He's just a
Yeah.
human that got abducted and they made him a super soldier, but he's just like you and I that, through flashbacks, he's trying to remember his childhood. So like I like the way that they're
Yeah.
taking it. So, it's a different story. Like it doesn't have to be what people grew up as Halo.
Yeah.
So
I think
my take.
I think it was interesting watching it because I was watching it in the living room and my wife was kind of watching it with me. Lily didn't play the Halo games. She has no idea what the story is, but she was like watching bits and pieces of it. She's like, "Hey, this show's actually really cool. Like I'm liking it." So I think I get where you're coming from. Where in the story it made sense, right? It just like I had this like perceived notion of who Master Chief is, and I'm almost picturing him like what's that show, Mandalorian. I was like,
Uh
Mandalorian kept his helmet on longer than Master Chief did. but
huh.
but at the same time, that I get where you're coming from. I get that because of the plot that's playing out on the show, it made sense that he would have to take off his helmet to connect with the girl. Um, but even then, there's also a lot of back and forth on the plot, right? What is it? Article 72, Article 73, the whole thing where he's been told to kill the girl. That's not
Yeah.
something that comes from lore. That's not even from the books, and that
Oh.
kind of makes the what they call the US USMC, right?
UNSC.
UNSC. It makes the UNSC kind of, I don't know, almost like convoluted in a way. Like for
Yeah.
the longest time playing the games, like they were the end all be all. They're like the protectors of the universe, and that's who you're playing as. Now all of a sudden, there's all this like cruelty happening, and this is even before like Halo Combat Evolve happens. Like this is kind of happening right before Halo Reach, right, in
Right.
the series. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that on that part of the plot?
I like I said, I'm watching it kind of like you said, like how your wife is watching it. I'm trying
Mhm.
to watch this series like I know nothing about Halo,
Open
and
mind. Mhm.
this is just a sci-fi,
Yeah.
series that I'm watching, and I'm trying to pretend like I don't know what anything is. And from the whole point, like I'm a fan of Halo, and I think the actor that plays Master Chief just recently made an Instagram post where he said like I'm a fan of Halo, and I'm trying to get more fans for Halo. And
Mhm.
there's just some things that they're making the show hopefully for new people to come. It's kind of like
Yes.
that those little breadcrumbs that you leave that hopefully trickle them into Halo Infinite, trickle them into all these other different mediums that I think Halo can go into the future. So what better way to do it than through this series that is easy going for people that don't have to know who the Covenant is, who the prophets are, why are the Forerunners there?
Yeah.
Like
The
Halo lore is
artifacts. Yeah.
crazy, bro,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the fact that they kind of like, brought it down to earth, more relatable, is fun to me. And that's how I'm watching it.
Okay.
And I'm interested to see like who that other girl is, McKee. So there's some rumors that are like, is that Master Chief's sister? Like, I want to see which direction they take it. So I'm kind of glad that they're drip feeding us the series in a way because it keeps me anticipated.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
know I would have watched the whole thing by now, honestly.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
no, I think at the end of the day, you're not going to survive as a series by getting into the lore too hardcore. But there's a reason why movies like the old Hulks, the old DC Marvel movies didn't do well. They're strictly comic based. Again, like you have to appeal like Marvel did with the Avengers. They really um, made it easy, like you said, for someone who doesn't know anything about Halo, doesn't know anything about Marvel or any of the superheroes to watch, because those are the people that are going to make you money, first of all, and also those are the new fans that are going to come to Halo. So you're not really you're trying to slightly appeal those Halo fans, but they have to appeal to the general public. So um, yeah, like I said, I'm going into it watching like if I didn't know anything about Halo as well. So that way I can just enjoy it and not have to compare it to anything.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I think also, as having played Halo though, there are a lot of stuff that they're giving us that are actually really fun. Like the very first sequence when they're fighting the Covenant, and you hear like the guns and you hear the shield and it's the actual noises
Yeah,
from
it's
the game.
actually
I like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope. Like it
Yeah,
actually
those are
sounds like the sword, and then you actually hear the shield
yeah.
breaking down and then recharging. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all that looks really dope. It looks really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, those are
I
the details that
agree.
I think Halo fans should be happy about.
Yeah,
Hearing
but they
those
don't,
little things. Yeah.
That's the thing with humans, man. A lot of humans, they just focus on the negative. The negative gets views, unfortunately, is just how it is. But there's a lot of positives, and it sucks that, people don't shed light on them, and if they do, they just get crowded. They get dumbed down with all the negative energy. So that's why I'm trying to be positive, man.
Yeah, man, when
I'm
he
trying
grabbed
to
that
be
railgun, I was just like
it's
that's
going.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
And I
really
don't know
dope.
if you guys noticed, but in episode 2, when Master Chief is he puts in a code to open one of the doors. I might be crazy. I may have to rewatch it, but the password was 343, and I thought like that was so cool. Like
Clever,
I thought
Yeah.
that was
clever.
the coolest thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
dope.
That's pretty cool.
I'll have to watch that back.
Yeah, I think going off kind of what you were saying about that, it might bring new fans. I remember I'm a big fan of the Arcane series on Netflix because I
Hmm.
play League of Legends. I play TFT a lot on stream, and when that show came out, I recommended it to a bunch of homies, especially homies that watch anime, and they
Mm.
loved it. And they started hitting me up and were like, "Hey, should I start playing League of Legends?" Like I was never interested until I saw this show. And
Hmm.
I think you're right, especially with Halo Infinite, at least the multiplayer being free. I think it might bring in some people to start
Oh,
playing.
shoot.
Like I
Lord
told you, my
knows we
wife
need
started
them.
watching and she's like, "Oh, this is really interesting."
No,
Yeah.
I hope we get everybody that watched the show to come through because man, those views are down.
Yeah, I was like, had a good start there, but
Yeah, yeah. That's actually a pretty good transition into the next topic here. I wanted to talk about Halo Infinite itself, and kind of the state of Halo Infinite. It's been what, 4 months now since the game came out. November, early no
No, yeah, it
October.
came out what November 15th
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Halo's 20th anniversary.
November. Yeah,
So
so it's been a couple,
over almost
almost
5 months.
5 months.
almost five
Almost
months now.
five
Yeah.
months. Yeah,
So
dang.
I Halo Infinite had the like best opening of any Halo game. I think they had like 20 million concurrent players when they first came online with multiplayer. I was part of the technical preview. I was playing in that. I think I played a couple of games with you about that,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we were in there, and I was loving it, man. I actually really liked the game, and I might be in the minority here. I think it's actually still a decent game. I think it's still in an okay place, and I just think people kind of got bored, or
Yeah.
they're just used to almost this state of like continuous content coming out for free games, and
Yeah.
that might be
Yeah.
it. But I think personally, I think there's a lot of complaining about Halo Infinite for a free game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And I don't know,
Uh-huh.
what are you guys' thoughts on this?
I think that's
Well, oh
first
yeah,
take
I'll
it.
go first. Yeah, you know I'm a BR guy. I know the whole BR thing has been talked about. BRs are my favorite. I just think the 4-on-4 style just gets a little, like you said, a little boring. It can last for a little while. That's why Halo. I feel like Halo did such a good job on the get go, just right away. That it was something new, not new, but something refreshing after having so many BRs. But after a little while, it gets a little boring, right? It's just almost like the same thing, repetitive over and over again. So I think they need to add a BR, and it's never too late. I mean, they're still doing well. The community is still there. It's not going to go anywhere. So if they work on a BR, maybe it's they're working on it. I'm not sure, but I think they have to add either they have to do continuous updates or they have to add a BR something because yeah, I mean it's just going to keep falling unless they add in content. Content is key. I mean, look at Fortnite. They had to change up their style. No building on that. So you
No
have
building.
to you have to adapt. People don't
Yeah.
like the building. They had to change, and I give it up to them. They changed. Yeah, how many years has Fortnite been out and they're still making changes?
Mm,
So I think Halo can do something big, and it's not too late. So they have time, but they definitely need to rethink a few of their strategies.
that's fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you, Heroes. Like, I mean, you're in marketing and all this, so I try to look at it like a business standpoint. Not maybe not a lot of people do, but I think honestly, it wasn't 343's fault. If I had to make an educated guess, they did the best they could with what they had, and honestly, probably the developers didn't want to release the game how they released it, when they released it. But we've all worked. I'm assuming in one of those jobs where you have the boss that no matter how many times you tell them, like, hey man, this is not, you're not out here on the floor with us. You don't know what's going on. And like,
Yeah.
they have a different vision that you may not see. And I learned that as a supervisor when I was working. Like sometimes, there's certain things you can't tell certain people because they just won't understand. And at the end of the day, decisions are made that, like, I think in the long run, were probably a good decision. Now, I don't know if that's what's going to happen with Halo Infinite, but it was Halo's 20th anniversary. They had to release it. They had already delayed it once. And I think business wise, they were going to lose a lot of money. And I'm sure they made a lot of money during that time, and it probably what they were thinking was like, okay, we can make all this money. It's gonna be better if we do it this than instead delay it and then release it
Yeah.
later. That was probably the thought process. That's what they agreed on. Boom, that's what they did. And I'm in the believer that, you know what, there's people that are working at 343 that really want this to succeed. Like you're saying, the game is not that bad. The game is super fun. I still have fun playing with. Like at the core, it's probably the best Halo game 343 has ever made, and it has problems. So imagine when it gets fixed. Like it's only going to
Mm,
get better. And season 2 is coming out a month from now. I think they're adding a lot of very necessary updates that, yeah, should have been already updated by now. But hey, better late than never, right?
yep.
So that's kind of like the path that we're going on now. I see Halo Infinite, let's say a year from now, it's going to be a completely different game. Serge mentioned the BR. I have never been a fan of like Call of Duty, so I never got into like battle royales. I didn't like Fortnite because I sucked at building. Apex. People try to get me to play Apex, and I think that's a good game. Just BRs weren't for me. I don't know. But I honestly feel like they are making a battle royale or
Yeah.
something
You really
like
think
it.
so?
So yeah,
I
yeah,
think
and
they
this is
have
why.
to.
And this
Yeah.
is why they released Halo in this state because they knew that this is not the Halo that was gonna bring them to the real top. They're like, dude, we're gonna release this. We're gonna make the most money we can on this, but then we're gonna re-release it in a way and drop something big, and that's what's gonna be like their version of a battle royale, their version of
Yeah.
something that's gonna bring back people and keep people. But they're probably polishing that, and I honestly think that like a year from now, we're gonna have some type of like a battle royale type thing, and it's gonna have two
Mhm,
different modes. Um, they have to, bro. Like they have
yeah.
to. There's literally no option, and I it's Microsoft's biggest IP.
Yep.
Like they cannot let this die. And Halo Infinite it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big again, and
Yeah.
I'm ready for it,
Yeah.
man.
I'm saying Halo Infinite is not going anywhere. I think the Halo president has repeatedly said this is our definitive Halo game for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
He has
Hmm.
said that. And I know it's a weird comparison because it's Bungie, but I like to compare it to Destiny 2 because they
Yep.
didn't have the greatest launch either. Like
Hmm.
they had a really good launch for a couple of months and then people just dropped off the game super quick.
Hmm.
And but now like they like slowly built back up and they came out with more content. They came out with DLCs, free DLCs at that. And slowly they built their fan base. And now they have a very dedicated fan base that really plays Destiny 2 and I have a coworker that he was super excited about the new with the Witch Queen DLC that had just dropped, and he was like getting
Right.
together with his old homies and playing that, and I can see that happening with Halo Infinite. I can definitely see that, especially because I don't think people understand we're still in season one. This is still
Hmm.
Yeah.
season one. Like season one's supposed to end in May,
Yeah.
and there's
I I
already
I think
promises of
we're
season
we're
two.
still in season 0, bro. Like season 1 I think is like real season 1 is in March May 3rd when we get that update. I
Yeah,
think that's really season 1 cuz the game was not ready, bro.
yeah,
So, it got released early. It probably should have been delayed a whole another year, but I'm excited,
yeah.
bro. I think,
That
Yeah.
could be very
I
special.
don't know if you know, but the company that's designing this new game mode that got leaked, they're called Certain Affinity. It's a third party, but actually the CEO of Certain Affinity was the multiplayer, like the lead multiplayer uh, at Bungie for Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Mm,
So he's the one that's heading this whole project. And if there's anyone that I have faith in for multiplayer in a Halo game, it's that dude.
yeah,
I don't even know his name, but I know if that dude is in charge, this he knows what he's doing. He's already gone on like Twitter rants, like breaking down how 343 has been doing their matchmaking and their ranking and how he would do it and blah blah blah. Dude, this dude's gonna come in here
he's
and
gonna
he's
come
gonna
in
be
hot.
like he's gonna come in like on a this is the revolution. We're taking Halo back, and kind of like in Call of Duty, you have the team that worked on Black Ops, right? And you had the team that worked on like Modern Warfare or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you had those two teams. I think that's what's going to happen here. You're going to have the 343. They made this, and CERN Affinity made this. And everyone's going to be like, "Oh man, what is this?" And it's just going to come hot. And then Forge. Like we didn't even talk
Yeah,
about Forge.
Yeah.
Dude, when Forge drops,
It's over.
Oh my, it's over, bro.
A lot of people forget that Fortnite, yeah, it was hot. First of all, it wasn't even the main game mode. It was just like a side game mode that popped off, and streamers kind of took and ran with it. And for a while, I think after like 2-3 seasons, Fortnite started dying, and then they came out with the creator mode. People started creating their own games, and that just skyrocketed all over again. I remember I got back into Fortnite because I had friends that were making like these really cool levels, and then you can play like all kinds of different game modes that people were just coming up with. And I think people forget that Halo started that with Forge, right?
Yep.
Like that, just getting the community more involved in the game is gonna build that game even more. And we've seen that time and time again. We saw that with World of Warcraft too. I'm a big Overwatch player. We saw that with Overwatch. Overwatch was a dead game for a really long time until they came out with the creator mode and people could play their own games online, and they had their own servers. Like once you get Forge in Halo Infinite, especially with what Halo Infinite has done with like the open world and everything, there's gonna be so much customization available, and I really feel like they're gonna come up with the community is gonna come up with really fun games to do within Halo. Like
You're not limiting your creativity to just your team. Now you're releasing it to your fans, and like you said, with Fortnite, that's the way it is. People play a bunch of different game modes on that. Minecraft stuff does that too. There's like you said, yeah. I mean, Bungie's gonna. I mean, sorry, 343's gonna have to do that too. But I think at the end of the day, people. I think the companies are understanding that you don't have to have the strongest start. You could have the strongest start, but eventually your game is going to die a little bit, and you have to just adapt. You have to change something. You have to add on content. It doesn't have to be right away, but as long as you have your small fan base that Halo does, I mean, they have their fan base, and they're going to still slowly glide until they, like you said, they release that big game mode or a new game that they come out with, maybe a Warzone-esque type game. Like, Warzone is his own separate game. Maybe it's those different BR or so, whatever it is. But they're gonna do something, and yeah, I mean, they're really in no rush. I think Halo Infinite will be able to sustain itself for a little while.
Yeah, and I also think a lot of the problem people have with Halo Infinite comes from the multiplayer. I rarely hear like incredibly bad things about the campaign. I really enjoyed the campaign. I thought it was a really cool story the way they had like his interaction with the weapon, which was obviously replacing Cortana in a sense, and the pilot and the open world aspect of it. I thought it was a really dope campaign, and the Halo devs have said that for season 2 they're gonna open up a co-op campaign. I think that's gonna be really fun to play through with your friends, and obviously they're gonna make the bosses a lot harder, the enemies a lot harder to actually beat, and it's gonna be fun like strategizing with your friends and going into combat and introducing all like obviously they introduced the grapple and all the other weapons that you can use and then add-ons that you can use within the campaign. Like it's gonna be really fun to try to figure out new ways to beat the game as a co-op. And yeah, and as far as BRs, I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. I like BRs, but I also don't want to be like every shooting game needs a BR. I don't.
I mean,
I don't want to say that. Yeah, man. I just want it to be unique.
I'm not saying we need it, but we need it.
I mean, I don't want. It's almost like that thing that you're just like, damn, I gotta do that. If not, we're gonna like. It's just they have to, right? BRs are so good, man. There's just such good content. The competitiveness, people need competitive. Look at Warzone. They died because they never brought out ranked. You need some kind of competitive, and yeah, 4-on-4, that old style. a competitive game like Call of Duty, stuff like that. It's really hard to still have that type of uh, that type of competitive gameplay. But I feel like BRs are just it's just I
That's
don't
it.
know.
They definitely
It,
have the like vehicles arsenal to do that
yeah,
in a game. They definitely have that, and I think
Really,
it'd be interesting to play through it that way. But we'll see, we'll see.
we'll see.
But yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I I hope more people play the game. I really hope this game doesn't die. It's such a good game. And I'll admit that it became a little stale. People got annoyed with microtransactions, but who doesn't hate microtransactions? And kind of what you were saying about that, it's a business. They got to make their money
Hmm.
somehow, right? So you're gonna see that in every game now. So I don't even take that as a real like complaint against the game. Um,
Yeah, they have a lot of my money. I'll say that. So they better make
exactly.
they better make something good.
Yeah.
I mean the game's free, right? So
Yeah,
if
Yeah.
you're willing to spend money on a free game, that's up to you. You
Yeah.
know, so
facts,
uh,
facts.
you know, you want to keep it free and not spend any money. That's
Yeah. I don't think it's a
more
point of
power to you.
contention. Should be a point of contention for
No,
the
no, not
players.
at all.
Yeah. So now that we summed up the topic with Halo Infinite, I wanted to do a little fun conversation about Halo. Um, what is y- the best Halo game and why?
I'm gonna have you start this one. I want to hear
Me,
yours
the
first.
best Halo game. I think my I I'm between two. Okay, Halo Combat Evolved is the game that I've played the most times, over and over again. And then when the Master Chief Collection came out, I played it over and over again. I beat it on normal, hard, at legendary. And that game just has a special place in my heart. It was my very first person shooter, so I was just drawn to it immediately. Um, but that is not my answer. My answer is Halo Reach. Halo Reach just had the
So,
best multiplayer in my opinion. The story, the campaign was actually really dope up until the end, and then you see like when you're handing off the artifact in Cortana and everything, and you see Master Chief and like it goes off into the Halo Combat Evolved. I was just like I that was my like teary eyed moment. I was like, oh man, and I vividly remember the after credit of that game because you beat the game and you play through the credits, and if you wait till the end of the credits, it comes up with the new objective, and it just says survive.
survive,
And
yo.
man, just playing through that, and I remember I was like, oh crap! Like I got like an adrenaline rush, and I'm over here like throwing grenades, like switching guns. I like went off, and I just couldn't. And you just die. I'm like, what just happened? And because I'm not respawning, and I'm not getting this menu, and you find out that you actually just died. And I thought that was so dope, and I hadn't seen a game do that ever. Like I had never played a game where I get to the end of the game and my main character dies, and I just thought that was so cool of them to end it off that way. And that's why Halo Reach was that was it for me. I was like, man, this is such a dope game from campaign to multiplayer. Right? It was just the most well-rounded Halo in my opinion. Um, I haven't put Halo Infinite on there yet. I really like the campaign. I don't think it's as good as the Reach campaign, but obviously, I think Halo Infinite still needs some time for me to throw it in the conversation, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's mine.
Want me
But
to go next?
yeah, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you go.
You'll like,
No, I mean, man, I I like when I was younger, man. I was a little rebel, so I was always like Team F Bungie, man. I was like I was so mad because like Surge, I got very competitive,
mm,
and I was competitive in Halo 3. You know, it's probably the best Halo game that like skill wise that I was at, man. I would play that game. I would skip school. I would, you know, do all the things that you need to do to be good at a game. And and when Halo Reach came out, I played the campaign. It was awesome. Midnight launch, got a 4-player co-op, had a huge experience from start to beginning on Legendary. It was a blast. I love the campaign, like you're saying. It's hands down probably one of my favorite campaigns of a Halo game. And then I hop into multiplayer, and none of the maps were memorable to me. And losing the battle rifle and getting the DMR, which had at on launch it had bloom, and it was like horrible. Like you'd shoot your shot and your shots just wouldn't hit.
Yeah.
So like it just was not competitive anymore. And you had armor lock, jetpacks, sprint, like all these things that just did not make the game competitive at all. It was just so casual. So I can see like why people that are like casual love Halo Reach. Like they thought that multiplayer was amazing. And like, but me from a competitive side, I was like, man, screw this game. Like I remember going back to Halo 3 and just playing that instead.
Mm,
But now that I'm older, now that I'm older and many different Halo games have come and gone, I've seen like my brother loved Halo Reach. He's a few years, like 5 years younger than me. And, just he grew up on Halo Reach and he has all these memories on Halo Reach, memories that I have on Halo 3. But like now, like looking back at it, I'm like, man, I miss Halo Reach. Like I wish I would have appreciated it more for what it was. I wish I wasn't as competitive as I was because I missed out on a lot of moments that people like hold dear to their heart. All the
mm,
custom games, Forge was amazing in that
yeah.
game. All the customization in that game. There was commendations. If you got kills with your guns, it would keep track of how many kills individually for each gun. Like there was as a person that would want to complete a game like me, I would complete all my Legend of Zeldas. I wish I would have completed my Halo Reach.
Mm,
When the servers went offline, I got sad. Like I logged in and I saw my account and I'm like, man, it's like something that I'll never be able to finish. I'll never be able to get that like those flies running around your body or the
yeah.
electricity you had or the skull inside your helmet. Like those are things that I'll never be able to unlock anymore. And like it was all because I was such a try hard competitive freak that like just went back to Halo 3 and like I play Halo Reach a lot, don't get me wrong, but I never completed it.
Mm,
And especially now in my life, I'm like on this mission to complete a lot of the things that I started. I think I mentioned it in the video, I'm not sure, but I related a lot to Halo. A circle, to draw a circle, you have to start it and you have to end it. And that's how you complete a circle. So like that's the mission that I'm on my life right now. And unfortunately, I'll never be able to finish Halo Reach. It's one of those things that's going to be a broken Halo to me in my life. But, that's life. You have some broken Halos in life. But, to make a long story short, I'm going to agree with you, man. I think
yeah.
Halo Reach, top to bottom, is probably the best Halo game ever made.
Yeah. Nice. I like how you put that. That's dope.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, for me, I'd probably go with probably. Hey, I really love Halo 2, Halo 3, but personally, my favorite Halo game, I know it's gonna be surprising, is Halo Wars.
Mm.
Yeah, Halo Wars, just because I have a lot of just because I have a lot of good memories with my friends, and I still to this day play Halo Wars, the original Halo Wars, not Halo
Halo
Wars 2.
Wars. I
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I completely skipped that game. Halo Wars and Halo
yeah,
Wars 2. I
Halo Wars
never
is
played them.
awesome,
Halo Wars was amazing, and it
dude.
Are
still
they?
is amazing to this
The
day.
cutscenes in that game were like, oh my god! That's when I wanted a movie. I'm like, dude, what are
Yeah.
these cutscenes? I loved Halo Wars, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's a personal one, but my competitive side for sure. Halo 2,
Yeah.
Halo 3, Halo 3's. Halo 3 for sure. At least for me, competitively was my favorite.
Yeah. No competitive for me. I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
Can't hang.
Two left thumbs.
Yup. Two left thumbs. Fat finger if I'm on keyboard. But yeah. Love it. Love it. Thank you guys for sharing. But yeah, so that basically sums up the podcast for today. As always, we like to close with recommendations for the week. I can start with my recommendations. Um, so I mentioned the Amazon buy two get one free deal, and one of the games on there is Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Play that game. It actually looks really fun, and I've played some of it already, and it's actually as fun as it looks. Like obviously, it's based off previous games. It's based off the it's called not Battlegrounds. I don't know why I'm completely missing what it's based off.
Battletoads.
Huh?
I'm like Battletoads.
Battles of no. I'll get it. But it's a great game. It's buy two get one free, and it's already on the list of a lot of people's like game of the year. So a lot of people are paying attention to that game. It's just really new. It's really fun. So if you get a chance to play it, go for it. You do have to pay for it. It's not a free game. Because it's brand new. And but yeah, that's my recommendation for the week.
Just looked it
Check
up.
it
It
out.
is it's Borderlands.
Borderlands. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
it's a spinoff of
okay, okay,
Borderlands.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. For myself, I haven't really been playing anything new. I'm grinding Apex right now, trying to get to master, but I'm doing solo, so I'm on Diamond 1. So that's really all I've been playing. Um, but I guess Overwatch 2. I think the beta's coming out this month, right?
Yeah, I'm so excited
Or
about that.
supposed to. Yeah, so I guess Overwatch. I still play Overwatch pretty much weekly, so I'm excited for Overwatch 2. I know all my friends are excited for Overwatch 2. So um, yeah, play some Overwatch. I still like the game. I know it's a little stale because there's really no updates, not much going on in that game, but it's good to get ready for Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, man, like I said, it was hard for me to get time to do this, but once the only time I have to game is Halo.
Yep.
Honestly, I've just been playing Halo Infinite. I'm trying to upload more content and all this, so the only time that I have, like, I just kind of have to play, and I'm glad that I enjoy it. And I'll have two recommendations. I will say, if you have a friend or you have a community that you are looking to be a part of, I think Halo Infinite is still a great game. I feel like it's like in the state of Halo 5 was for me. I had nobody to play with, and I love Halo 5. I think it's one of the best multiplayer games ever for Halo, but it just didn't have the community. I didn't have anyone to play with. It became stale, it became boring, and I didn't play it anymore. So I will say, you have a friend or you don't have any friends, find a community, play Halo Infinite. But I do want to throw a recommendation from my childhood. This month is my brother's birthday, and one of the fondest memories that I have was playing Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door
Oh,
with my
nice.
brother. I think that game is amazing. If you guys have never played it, buy yourself a GameCube, do what you need to do, but play that game. I ain't saying what you're trying to do, but go do what you need to do to play the game. You won't be disappointed.
Awesome. Love those
Nice.
recommendations, guys. Love them. Also, we're gonna have a social media contest. Not necessarily a contest. We're gonna do a drawing for people that comment on our social media post our video. We're gonna do a Gunner glasses giveaway. So if you see the Gunner glasses right here, there you
Ooh,
go. Brand new,
ooh,
never
Ooh,
used, never worn. So we
I
got
can
these
send you
Gunner.
my address.
Yeah,
And
right.
send them over here.
Yeah, you're eligible. You're eligible.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so we're gonna create a post. Everyone comment on the post with at least 3 other people, and let's get some traction going on the channel. We're gonna give it away to one of the people that post on there, and yeah, we're gonna send it to you. We'll pay for shipping and everything. Garner glasses are amazing. I love them. It really does a really good job of kind of taking away the blues from the screens and really help your eyes. Obviously, I wear glasses, but when I wear contacts, I wear the Gunner glasses. And yeah, and I'm a person that's in front of the screen all day. It's part of my work is being in front of the screen.
Hmm.
So definitely really cool glasses. If you've never seen them before, check them out online. There's a bunch of reviews on them. But yeah, so we have those. We're gonna do a Gunner glasses giveaway. And
cool.
as always, we want you guys to check out our other Higher Passion podcasts. Um, you guys know me from the Heroes and Mutants podcast as well. We're going to be talking about Morbius on there. We're talking about Moon Knight. We're talking about everything Marvel, DC, and in between. And we also have our Faded Theory podcast up and running. Sports Talks. The Sports Dogs are talking about NBA and all these crazy trades happening right now in the NFL as well. They're going to be touching on all that. And
Hmm.
our Hood'em Made podcast is up and running again. So they're talking about all the newest seasons of. I know there was a new Attack on Titan season that they're talking about right now. So make sure to check them out for all things anime. And again, thank you to Matafied Gaming. Thank you for being here.
Um,
Definitely
Oh,
check
thank you
out
for
his
having me.
channel. Check out his Twitch. What do you want to plug? let the people know where they should follow you.
Shoot, man, I need a little boost on the YouTube. Nah, man, YouTube's my home. You know, that's really my baby. So if you have a YouTube, you're probably watching this on YouTube. Head on over to Matafied Gaming, Matafied Gaming, and hit the subscribe button. And yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Check him out. We'll have all of his socials and the YouTube channel, everything in the description, so you guys can go and follow him as well. Yeah. And
Appreciate it, man. Thank you
as
guys for
always,
having me.
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
been
for
a
being
blast,
out
man.
here.
Thank you for
And as always, have fun, guys. Remember to squad up, get into those games, play some Halo Infinite. We want to see some more of you guys out there playing. And as always, GG's.
GG's, everyone.
GG's, peace.